Welcome back Interior Alaska. Time to get the weekend started with the Friday Sportscast. I'm Joe Cook. The Alaska Nanook volleyball team couldn't muster another upset on Thursday night. Number 16 Western Washington swept Alaska, dropping the Nooks to 5-12 in the GNAC. Alaska couldn't overcome 18 errors. They hit just 7% against the Vikings. Kenzie Mix had 7 kills and Miranda Greaser passed 21 assists. She is 4 away from her season career high. Sam Hartoon, she tied the GNAC kills record with 10 terminations. She will break the record in UAF's next outing, which is tomorrow at Simon Fraser. The Monroe Rams may have found their rhythm down in Anchorage at the state tournament after avenging last year's state title game loss to Mount Edgecombe in the first round yesterday. They took down top-ranked ACS last night. The Rams dropped the first set 15-25, but won the last 3 sets 25-16, 25-13, 25-18. Monroe advances to tonight's winners bracket semifinals. They would take on the Valdez Buccaneers. Maybe the revenge tour for the Rams. Monroe lost to Valdez in the Aurora title game last weekend. The winner clinches a state final berth. After losing their opener, West Valley season ended today. After sweeping Ketchikan earlier this afternoon, the East Anchorage Thunderbirds swept the Wolfpack. West Valley went 14-0 in the regular season and finished with a 1-2 record at the state tournament. A few wrestling teams got a head start last night before this weekend's big tournament. West Valley, Hutchinson, and Galena all picked up wins in Thursday night's meltdown duels at Hutch. This weekend is the Hutchinson Meltdown, one of the biggest wrestling tournaments in the state. Glen Allen, Sioux Valley, and Valdez will come up to battle with all of the interior wrestling teams, so it's an 11-team field this year. The tournament starts this evening. Saturday matches start at 9 a.m. with finals slated to start around 2 o'clock. The North Pole Patriots lost their opener in the Palmer Hockey Tournament in the Valley. The Patriots were tied with the Colony Knights 2-2 going into the third, but Colony scored 4 unanswered on their way to a 6-2 win. Darren Donovan and Brandon Grosbeck scored for the Pats. North Pole faces host Palmer tonight. Now we check in with 2 fighters with local ties who have a chance at what could be a huge break for their careers in their next bouts. Here's more.
Jarrell Askew and Colin Reuter are finishing up training at Frostbite Valley Tudo Gym before what may be the biggest fights of their careers. Askew, who went to Lathrop, and Reuter out of West Valley, will be in next week's Alaska Fighting Championships 118. UFC President Dana White will be their scouting talent to potentially sign to the UFC. The event will also be in an upcoming episode of Dana White Looking for a Fight. Basically, this is the fight of their lives.
It's cool, get to put on a show in front of him. And either way, honestly, like, a lot of people might be like, oh, I found out that Dana White's coming, I'm going to train harder, I'm going to do this. And I wasn't thinking like that. I was already training my hardest.
It's awesome to have him up here in my home state, watching me perform. So I'm excited to bring the belt home back to Fairbanks and watch my buddy Jarrell get a belt too.
Reuter, who's been fighting since 2007, will defend his welterweight title against Chris Bennett in the co-main event. Askew lives in Sacramento and is a part of Team Alpha Males. The 4-year pro got his start in Fairbanks at Frostbite Valley Tudo. He will take on Nick Novelli in the AFC Bantamweight title match, the main event of the card.
He's one of those guys, he knows how to fight everywhere, he's decent all around, but I can't identify anything he's great at. I'm better than him everywhere. So, I just got to go out there and beat him everywhere.
Bringing back titles or getting that coveted UFC deal will be a major boost for these Fairbanks fighting products.
It would mean everything, we got, this gym is full of tough up-and-coming kids, and to have somebody, make that next step into the big leagues would give all these guys motivation. I think it would take the sport to the next level in the city.
AFC 118 is Wednesday, November 18th at 7:30 p.m. inside the Sullivan Arena in Anchorage. Joe Cook reporting.
And there are a slew of sporting events this weekend. Here's a brief rundown. Tomorrow, high school skiing starts with the sprint relay at 10:30 a.m. at Birch Hill. Also, the UAF ski team will have their ski fest from 1 to 4, also at Birch Hill. Nice meet and greet there. UAF swimming hosts Cal State East Bay at 9:30 a.m. Their last home meet at the Patty. Alaska women's basketball, they take on Dixie State at 3 o'clock, and the men's team, they play Chaminade at 7:30. Also, the Ice Dogs will wrap up their series against the Jets in Game 2 at 7:30 on Saturday night at the Dipper. And after counting up the votes, the North Pole Patriots definitely support their own. The play of the week comes from sophomore forward Darren Donovan of the North Pole Patriots. His play won in a landslide. With over 50 votes, Donovan displays some nifty stick moves and finished it off with a backhand shot for a goal. North Pole 7-3 win over the Hutchinson Hawks. That was one of Donovan's 3 goals on Wednesday night. Donovan's performance is this week's play of the week. To pick the next POTW, watch the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. And that's it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your weekend weather forecast. And as always, we'll catch you next time.